Continuing with the transients in RL series circuit, in the last class we discussed about the why there is a transient is occurring in the RL series circuit because the power system is inductive in nature. Whenever there is a sudden change in the current, then there is a transient occurs. Then the transmission network, which is represented by the RL circuit having a lumped parameters of R and L, then when it is the switch is open, then it is treated as it is operating under no load condition. When it is closed, in that case, when it is closed, it is called as it is short circuit. Then when it is short circuited, then the governing equation, voltage equation for the network is V is equal to Ri of t plus L di by dt. Then also we are seeing that the applied voltage to the network is a constant that we are assumed which is a constant, and it is given by Vmax sin omega t plus alpha, where alpha decides that at what particular instant of time there is a fault occurs on the voltage waveform. Then the first order differential equation what we are getting for a RL series circuit, when there is the short circuit occurs, the solution of this equation that what I am getting is the V max by Z sine omega t plus alpha minus theta minus e raised to R by L into t sine alpha minus theta. Here you are seeing the two different terms, that is the first term is varying sinusoidally, the second term is decaying exponentially. Therefore, the first term is first term of a short circuit current is called as symmetrical short circuit current, which is varies sinusoidally. Whereas the second component of a fault current is decaying exponentially, it is called as DC offset current. Then we are looking for what is the maximum possible the short circuit current in the event of short circuit in the system. That is, we are starting with the basic equation of the fault current. That is, once again, it is a solution of that voltage equation. That is, what we are getting is the total fault current. It has got two components, that is symmetrical short circuit current and DC offset current. Then we know that the first term will be maximum. The first term will be maximum when sine omega t plus alpha minus theta is become, if it is become 1, in that case the first term will be maximum. Therefore, if you are putting that condition, then what I am getting is maximum. That is what we are calling is the momentary current. That is, it is a Vmax by Z. That is why we are taking it is equal to 1, is that what we are interested is, we are interested in first peak of the short circuit current. This is varying sinusoidally. That is the first peak what I want is what I am calling is IMM. That is the momentary current, maximum momentary current. That is maximum momentary current. That is, this is a sinusoidal waveform. Therefore, when this sine omega t plus alpha minus theta is becomes 1, this will be a maximum value. That is nothing but then the another is adding is the DC offset current. Both put together, what I am getting is the maximum momentary current. Okay. Therefore, if this term is 1, then what I am getting is what the total fault current is become the momentary current. Momentary current. Okay. Then the another assumptions we are making, that is in the case of the transmission system, the resistance is very small as compared to its XL value. Therefore, R is very less than XL. Therefore, R is neglected. If R is neglected, then the circuit is containing only inductance. Therefore, it is inductive in nature. In that case, theta is equal to 90 degree. Therefore, if you are putting the value of theta is equal to 90 in this equation, what I am getting is sine 90 minus alpha. Sine 90 minus alpha is nothing but your cos alpha. This is the expression for your momentary current. This is a momentary current. That is, this is the momentary current what I am getting here. Okay. Then based on this momentary current, we are selecting the rating of the circuit breaker. Still, what is the maximum possible the fault current in the system? Still, it is what we are getting here is it is a momentary current. It is a momentary current. But still, what is the maximum fault current? The fault current will be maximum when cos alpha is equal to 1. When cos alpha is equal to 1, then what I am getting here is it is V max by Z plus this also becomes V max by Z, and because R is equal to 0, then e raised to 0 is 1. Therefore, what I am getting is V max by Z. Therefore, what we are getting is 2 times V max by Z. This is the maximum possible fault current in the system. Then this maximum possible current is possible when the alpha is equal to 0. When alpha is equal to 0, in that case, this maximum fault current is occurring in the system. Means it is a meaning that when the fault occurs in a such a way that when the alpha is becomes 0, at that instant of time we are getting a maximum fault current. Therefore, it is called as the doubling effect. It is called as the doubling effect that we are seeing yesterday. However, the rating of the circuit breaker is decided on the momentary short circuit current, not on the doubling effect current. That this discussion was seen in the last class. Continuing with this, then we will draw the waveform for the fault current. That is, we know that the fault current has got the two component that were seen already. It consists of two component. That is, one is V max by Z sine omega t plus alpha minus theta, that is sinusoidal, varying sinusoidally, that is symmetrical short circuit current. Whereas the second one is DC offset current. Means the total fault current is comprised of, that is IT and IT plus IS. Suppose if you are drawing two independent curves, for one for IT which is varying sinusoidally, the another it is decaying exponentially. If you are adding these two waveform, then what I am getting is the waveform for the fault current. That I am demonstrating here in this figure. Here my total fault current is, it is IT plus IS. Is it not? That is IT plus IS. That is, the IT is varying sinusoidally, whereas it is exponentially decaying. There are two components. Therefore, if you are observing here, there is a symmetrical fault current. The symmetrical fault current, it is nothing but the first term. That is what I am calling is IT. That is varying sinusoidally. You can see here. This is it is following this curve. That is symmetrical fault current. Then the second curve, the part of the total fault current is it is decaying exponentially. That you can see here. That is this a dotted line here. This is a dotted line. It is what we are calling is the DC offset current. Means if you are adding DC offset current and symmetrical fault current, then what we are getting is, this is a total short circuit current. What we are getting is, this is a total short circuit current. What we are getting, it is the sum of these two fault current. Sum of these two fault current. What I am getting here is the total short circuit current. Then one observation we are making here, it is a first, there is what is the first peak, what we are calling is momentary current, IMM, maximum momentary current. That is, this is what we are calling is IMM, first peak of the short circuit current. Here this the waveform has got larger magnitude. They are diminishing as the time elapses, and ultimately from this point onwards it is settling down to a sinusoidal waveform, because after some time at this instant of time, the second component, that is a DC offset current is become 0, then only the left out in the waveform is the symmetrical short circuit current. That is why it is sinusoidal waveform we are getting after the DC offset current become 0. But however, in the initial stage up to this stage, it is a combination of it is IS plus IT. Here onwards, that is IT is equal to 0, then the total current is consist of only the short circuit current, the IS. Okay, this is how we have to analyze this particular the graph of short circuit current. Then the based on the variation of this fault current, the variation of the fault current of thus, then the time period can be divided. That is the short circuit, the time period can be the decided. That is in the first few cycle, the variation of the fault current is very large. That period is called as subtransient state. It is called as subtransient case because the variation of the fault current is very large. Thereafterwards, hereafterwards, the fault current is slowly decreasing because DC offset current is goes on decreasing. Ultimately, up to the DC offset current gets settled, up to that point there is a oscillations or the variation of the fault current is less, and it is the DC offset current is become 0 here. That is here at this point of time IT is equal to 0. Means from the subtransient period up to steady state, up to the DC offset current is settling to 0, in that period it is called as transient state. That is a transient state. That is the first few cycle, because the variation of the fault current is very large, that period is called as subtransient. Subsequent the period is called as a transient state up to the DC offset current becomes 0, that we are calling as a transient period. Once the DC offset current becomes 0, thereafterwards it is only the symmetrical short circuit current is present in the waveform. That is the state is called as steady state. That is a steady state. That is the total the short circuit, the variation of the fault current is divided into 3 time zones, that is subtransient, transient and steady state. Okay, now we have to analyze the waveform, that is the variation of the fault current. And this waveform what I shown here, that is the first waveform is the voltage V, that is applied voltage, that is V max sine omega t plus alpha is the applied voltage. Then you can observe here. Then you can go on seeing here. See here, the fault is occurring at this point. The fault is occurring at this point. Means here on the waveform there is no fault. Here 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 it is no fault. Because the fault is occurring at this particular instant of time. The fault is occurring at this instant of time. Until that the voltage is there. Voltage is applied to the RL series circuit. Up to this point, there is no fault on the system. Therefore, the fault current is 0 here. That is, fault current is IF is equal to 0. When the fault occurs at this particular instant of time, the fault is occurring at this point, then you can see here, this is at which there is a fault is occurs. This angle what I am calling is alpha. It is called as the alpha. At this instant of time, there is a fault is occurring. The fault is occurring on the waveform. Fault is occurring. Thereby, you can see here in this second waveform, that is up to this, the fault current is 0. Means when there is a fault occurs at this point, the current is suddenly increased. Therefore, there are two components, that is the AC current, that is short circuit, symmetrical short circuit current, and DC offset current. It is consist of two. Therefore, there is sudden increase in the fault current and it is varying, and it is the oscillation is goes on reducing, that is the magnitude is goes on reducing. Ultimately That is become a sinusoidal waveform once the DC offset current get settled down. Means up to the short circuit, the fault current is zero here. Fault current is zero. When there is a fault occurs, then there is sudden rise in the current, and there are two components, that is DC component and the short circuit current. Then if you are adding the two component, then what I am getting here is the total short circuit current. Total short circuit current. That is why he is shown here, that is the dotted line is the symmetrical short circuit current, that is the first component. Then the green one here, it is shown here green, that is DC component. That is sum of dotted and green, what you are getting is a darken the black waveform, that is the total fault current. That is total fault current. Okay. Then the same, the graph I am using here, that is you are already seen. This is the equation for your the fault current, the equation for the fault current. Then it is the point of fault. Fault is occurring at this point. Up to that, the current is zero. When fault is occurring on this, then there is an increase in the current, that is the varying, and ultimately it is settled down to the steady state condition. It is what we are seeing here is there is a variation of the fault current because of the fault occurs on the system. Now, then the fault is occurring at this particular point, therefore it is what we are calling is the angle alpha. Then how angle alpha determines the fault current that we are interested. What is the impact of the short circuit on the waveform on which the fault current is varying, whether it is a large value or a small value, is depending upon at what time of on the waveform of the voltage V there is a fault occurs. There are two conditions I mentioned here. When DC term does not exist, just you can read this, that does not exist, that is a DC term does not exist, means this term is become zero. When the second term, that is sine theta minus alpha, if it is become zero, then whole term is become zero. Then sine theta minus alpha or sine alpha minus theta will be zero only when alpha minus theta is become either 0 or pi. In that case, this term is become 0. Therefore, the DC offset current is not present in the total fault current. In that case, we are getting the only one term, that is the short circuit symmetrical current you are getting. Only short circuit symmetrical current. That is when the fault is occurs on the waveform in such a way that alpha minus theta is equal to 0 or alpha minus theta is equal to pi. If you are closing the switch corresponding value of alpha, in that case the DC offset current is 0, thereby you are getting only symmetrical short circuit current you are getting. That is the first condition. That is, if alpha minus theta is equal to 0 or pi, then the second term will be 0. That is, second term will be 0. Then other conditions what I am observing here is, if the switch is closed at the point on the voltage wave such that alpha minus theta is equal to pi by 2 or minus pi by 2. One is 0, that is the DC offset current will be 0 when sine alpha minus theta or theta minus alpha is equal to 0. Then the second term DC offset current will be maximum when sine theta minus alpha or sine alpha minus theta, whatever the angle, because I am taken the change in the sign here, or sine theta minus alpha or alpha minus theta, if this value is become 1 equal to 1, in that case you are getting this as a maximum value, this as a maximum value. What we are getting? It is a maximum value. When sine theta minus alpha or sine alpha minus theta is become, that is 1. This will be happening only when alpha minus theta is equal to pi by 2 or minus pi by 2. That is same thing is written here. That is when theta minus alpha or alpha minus theta is become pi by 2 or minus pi by 2, you are getting this term as the maximum value. Means what he is telling that if the switch is closed at the point on the voltage waveform such that alpha minus theta is equal to pi by 2 or minus pi by 2, it has got a maximum initial value. In that case, you are getting maximum initial value you are getting. That is the analysis of a short circuit current. It is the effect of closing of the switch on the voltage waveform that having the either the less value or a more value, that depending upon the instant of switching off of the switch. When alpha minus theta is equal to 0, it is minimum, whereas alpha minus theta is pi by 2 or minus pi by 2, in that case we have got a maximum current we are getting. Therefore, you are observing here, if you are taking a oscillogram of current in one of the phase upon the occurrence of the fault on the unloaded generator, that is a good way to analyze the effect of a three-phase short circuit at the terminals of the unloaded alternator is to take an oscillogram of the current in one of the phases. That what I am showing here. If you are taking a oscillogram waveform of one of the phase when it is subjected to a short circuit, I am observing this waveform. I am observing this waveform. This is a waveform we are getting. See, you can see here this large variation at the initial stage, and slowly it is decreasing and it is settling down. Therefore, this particular waveform can be divided into three different the states or the regions. That is, the first few cycle, the variation is very large. That period is called as subtransient region. That subtransient region in the fault waveform is that region where there is a variation, the fault current is the maximum. It is a very few cycle of the initial stage of the fault. Subsequently, the variation of the fault current is small and it is lasting for few fraction of the seconds until the DC offset current becomes 0. That period is called as transient region. That region is called as transient region. Then once the DC offset current is become 0, subsequently we have got only one term, that is symmetrical short circuit current, because DC offset, that is second component of the fault current, is become 0 here onwards. Then the short circuit current will be remaining in the fault, that is varying here sinusoidally. That state is called as steady state condition. Means there are three conditions. One is subtransient, transient and steady state region. These are the three regions that we are defining for the total short circuit. Okay. The same thing is written as voltage generated in the phase of the three-phase machines are displaced 120 degree electrical. Because it is a symmetrical fault, the voltage and currents, they are displaced by 120 degree. For this reason, the unidirectional or DC offset current of the current is different in each phases. If the DC component of the current is eliminated from the current of each phase, resulting plot of each phase current versus time is shown. That is, it is what we are shown is the one of the phase of the fault current. Okay, it is divided into subtransient, transient and steady envelope. Okay, here the envelope means that is this. That is what we are getting is the average value of the subtransient, and the second one will be the average value of, that is B point, that is average value of transient period. That is, this is average value of a transient period. Then the third one is, it is the envelope of the short circuit. I can make use of the green one here. That is this. This is the another. Means if you are found the three different envelopes, one is for the transient period, that is the average value of the subtransient period. The second envelope is for transient period. The third envelope is for steady state, for steady state conditions. The based on this three envelopes and three regions were defined. One is what were defined is subtransient period. This is the period lasts for only about 2 cycles. I told you the initial 2 cycles of the fault is the subtransient period. During this period, the current decays very rapidly. The decay in the current is very rapidly because DC offset current will decay fast in this particular period. And in the second period, that is a transient period, the transient period lasts for about 30 cycles. 30 cycles. During this period, the current decreases somewhat slowly. The current which is decreases somewhat slowly. However, in the case of steady state period, the current reaches its steady value. In the steady state condition, the DC offset current is becomes zero, then only the symmetrical short circuit current is left out. Therefore, for three different periods, we have got a three different current. Because in the subtransient period, you are seeing the variation is more, therefore subtransient current is more. But in the transient period, which is less than the subtransient period, the current transient current is less than as compared to subtransient current. Whereas in the steady state period, the fault current which is less compared to subtransient as well as transient period. Therefore, we have got three different currents in the three different regions. One is ID double dash, I double dash, I double dash, which is transient period, which is greater than the transient current. Then I dash is also greater than the steady state current of I. That is, we have got three different the current, that is subtransient current, transient current and steady state current. But in that subtransient period, we have got a maximum current. Okay. Then how to get these currents from the waveform? Just you can observe here. What we are getting here is, you are marked here average value of the peak value of three envelope. One is from O to A is the envelope of steady state, and O to B is for transient period, and O to C is the average peak value of subtransient period. These are the peak values of the current. It is for steady state, transient state, subtransient state. That is, it is observed here. This is OA, OB and OC. OA and OB, OC. Therefore, the I double dash is nothing but what is the peak value? It is O to C. That is, OC is the peak value. OC is the peak value. Therefore, OC, if you are taking root 2, then you are getting a RMS value. It is the RMS value of the subtransient current. Then, if you look into the second, the peak value of a transient period is, it is OB. Therefore, your I dash will be, it is OB is the peak value divided by root 2, that makes it RMS value ampere. That is a transient current. Then the third one, what we are observing here is OA is the peak value of the steady state condition. Therefore, the steady state current will be I is equal to, it is OA divided by root 2 amperes, because it becomes the RMS value. This is how you have to find out the subtransient current, and it is a transient current, it is a steady state current. There are three current. The same thing is explained here in the slide. That is, can see here, that is, this is the subtangent current OC by root 2 and tangent current is OC by root 2 and steady state is OA by root 2. Then why there is a change in the current during subtangent, transient and steady state condition, that we'll study tomorrow or in the next session. Then you have to establish a relation between the current and the reactance offered in the three different regions, that is subtangent, transient and steady state condition.